Hello everyone, welcome back to today's video. So let me tell you about someone she loved deeply, and when he was stressed, she listened for hours. When he pulled away, she gave him space. When he forgot important dates, she told herself he's just overwhelmed. When he hurt her feelings, she softened her tone and tried to explain it better. And she never wanted to be difficult. She believed love meant understanding. So she understood and understood and understood. Until one day she realized something terrifying. He wasn't trying harder. He wasn't afraid of losing her. He wasn't changing. He was comfortable. Because while she thought she was loving, he thought she was available for late replies, available for emotional inconsistency, available for half effort, available without consequence. And the more she gave, the less he valued it. Not because she wasn't enough, but because she never required him to rise. How many of you see yourself in that story? How many times have you told yourself, if I just love better, they'll treat me better? And tonight we are going to talk about why that belief quietly destroyed self-respect and how to stop confusing love with over availability. So, if this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section. So, you think you are loving, you think you are being patient, understanding, and supportive. You think you are showing emotional maturity, but what if the person on the other side doesn't experience it as love? What if they experience it as availability, unlimited access, unlimited forgiveness, unlimited chances, and once someone believes you will always stay, the dynamics shift. And today we are going to talk about the painful truth behind overgiving, emotional availability, and why some people lose respect when you love too deeply. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about understanding how love without boundaries slowly turns into self-abandonment. And the difference between loving and overfunctioning? A lot of people might not be familiar with that. That is why you struggle in your relationships. So, healthy love includes care, mutual effort, respect, and boundaries. Overfunctioning looks similar on the surface, but internally it's different. Overfunctioning sounds like I'll handle it. It's okay, I understand. Don't worry about me. I just want them to be okay. And you become the emotional regulator of the relationship. You soothe, you adjust, you adapt, you minimize your needs. And slowly you train the other person. I will carry this relationship. At first they appreciate it, and then they expect it. Then they depend on it. Then they stop reciprocating it. And you are left wondering when things changed. So why loving harder doesn't create security? In my previous videos, I have explained to you a lot of things about the true love and the red flags and how to get a clue that this person is truly loving you or is just wasting the time. You guys can go and check that. And if you guys haven't subscribed, just subscribe my channel so you guys can get the latest updates. Okay, and because it would help you towards the healing too. So this is to develop an insight. So many people believe if I love enough, they'll feel safe. If I show consistency, they'll commit. If I prove my loyalty, they won't leave. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Love does not create character. Effort does not create integrity. And I have seen a lot of clients, as you all know that I'm a consultant clinical psychologist. So I have seen a lot of clients. They have mentioned they have gone to very, very high extent, like, all of those things that are not even possible. They tried to do that thing. They ruined their own life just to get that person. But what happened at the end? That person, they left him. He wasn't there to support her. He said like, no, I don't need you, or I'll be very happy if you marry someone else, and I'll be very happy for you, and those sort of statements. Please don't. I know. And by then they would say this thing to you, and they would say like, "Oh, we are very. I know. I'll be very happy for you if you marry another person," and the statements like this. This is, how can you say this thing to someone if you love someone? But these people, they don't love you. That is why they are saying this thing to you, and they know, like, no matter what we do with the other person, no matter what's happening, no matter if we are not paying attention to them, but still she would be there for us. That is why they started taking advantage of you, and they know now they have the key, and they have the remote, or those things like, you can now do whatever they want to do. Okay, because you love them from the core of your heart. But the same is not from the other side. Okay, so your devotion cannot heal someone else's avoidance. When someone lacks emotional depth or accountability, your increased giving does not inspire growth. It creates imbalance, and imbalance changes perception, and they stop seeing your love as valuable because it costs them nothing. Okay, there will be always an emotional support. A person who truly loves you will always be there for you. Okay, whether you are sick, whether you need them, whether it's in terms of care, in terms of respect, and everything. And how availability turns into devaluation. Human psychology values what requires effort, not because people are cruel, but because effort signals worth. And at times, there are certain situations where effort are only expected from one side. Okay, there would be people who would say like, okay, I just need you to support me. And they would say like, okay, you are the third person, or the other people, they would say like, you have to make the compromises, and you can go to this thing. Men are like that. No, please. It's 50-50 process. Okay, so when you always answer immediately, always forgive quickly, always accommodate, never enforce consequences, you unintentionally remove emotional stakes. There is no risk of losing you. Okay? And then when there is no risk, there is no urgency. Okay? And this is where subtle devaluation begins. They cancel plans more easily. Even if you guys have planned a date, you guys want to go out, on the last minute they will say, no, I'm sorry, I can't go. I have this work to do, urgent work to do. In some cases, this can happen, but it happens very rarely if there is an emergency. There is a worse situation at home, a fight, or someone is hospitalized, or this situation, it's fine. That happens. That can happen to anyone. But if they say, no, I have very urgent work to go, and I have to go here and there, it's all about priority. If he is giving priority to his work or his friends or any other people, he can give this priority to you as well. Now, they take longer to respond. They stop explaining themselves and they assume you will understand, and you do because you are loving. And what they interpret is she'll stay, he won't leave, they don't require much, and that shifts power. Okay, you know, if he is like, if you need them for emotional support and all, and they are not available for you, and even if you answer them immediately, then they would say like, oh, no matter what. And even if he is not texting you, you always text him first, and he would definitely take advantage of you. So and yes, there are a lot of people you have seen or you have listened to them. They would say, oh, checking the social media or checking each other's phone. Please don't do this. Don't do this. Trust is the foremost thing. Don't check each other's phones, messages, calls, and everything. Don't do this. There is always a boundary, and you always have to set those boundaries. Okay, because if you will step along in his life and you will like, I know everything wherever he is going. If he is going to the washroom, you want to see him. If he is there, why you took your phone with you, and like this. Please know that there are certain boundaries, and you don't have to breach that boundaries. If you would do this, you will ruin your own relationship. Okay, there are other people as well who try to ruin your relationship, but you are trying this thing by yourself. So don't do this. Okay, always set those boundaries, always trust each other. Okay, but don't do this thing like checking each other's phone and like, who is this, and this. No. Okay, you can ask, but there always a way to communicate, and the communication gap should not exist in any relationship. So coming back to the topic, where this pattern comes from. Over availability often starts in childhood. If you grew up managing a parent's emotions, being praised for being easy, avoiding conflicts to keep peace, and feeling loved only when useful, and you learned love equals accommodation. You became hyper attuned to others' moods, and you learned to anticipate before they were spoken. And as an adult, this looks like emotional maturity, but underneath it's fear. And fear of rejection, conflict, abandonment, and being too much. So you preemptively shrink yourself. Okay, not because you're weak, but because your nervous system believes safety depends on being needed. So now the attraction dynamic. Emotionally unavailable people are often drawn to over-available partners. Now, why? Because the dynamic feels comfortable. One gives, one receives. One chases clarity, one avoids depth. One adjusts, and one withdraws. And this pairing creates a cycle. And there would be a lot of people who would say, oh, the relationships can go like this, and one person have to make the compromise. Yes, definitely, if you are highly stubborn, then you have to make some compromises, and you guys know. But this compromise should not be always like, only you have to make all the compromise every time. The other person has to too. Okay, so the more distant they become, the more loving you try to be, and the more loving you become, the less effort they need to make. And until you are exhausted, they are comfortable. Now, signs that they see you as available and not valuable. Here are subtle signs. They only reach out when they need something. Okay. They assume you will forgive without repair. They don't fear losing you, and they give the bare minimum but expect maximum understanding. They don't change behavior after hurting you, and then definitely there would be their behavior and their body language. It definitely means a lot. Okay, The key sign is you feel anxious when they pull away. They feel calm knowing you won't. That emotional asymmetry is a red flag. Okay? Anxious attachment is very bad. You guys can go and check my other videos too about attachment. It would also give you an insight. And the shift from availability to self-respect, that is very important for all of you to know. The solution is not to love less. It's to require reciprocity. Healthy love says, I care about you and I care about myself. Okay? It sounds like they didn't feel good. I need consistency, and if this continues, I'll step back. I won't chase. At first, this feels terrifying because your identity may be built on being the safe one. But boundaries don't destroy love, they filter it. The right person does not see boundaries as rejection, they see them as clarity. Now, reclaiming secure love, what it is. Secure love is not loud. It's stable. It's mutual. It doesn't require proving. Okay? There are a lot of people, those who are not even aware about what is secure love, what is true love. And then that is why they suffer a lot in their relationships. Okay? Because we talked about previous years, insight wasn't developed and people had to suffer. So you don't need to be endlessly available to be loved. You don't need to overextend to be chosen. You don't need to shrink to be kept. When you stop being available for inconsistency, you become valuable to the right people. And the ones who only wanted access will leave. Okay? And let them. Because love is not measured by how much you tolerate, it's measured by how much both people invest. So you were never too loving, okay? You were loving without protection. And once you pair love with self-respect, the entire dynamics changed. So, if you have seen yourself in this video, I want you to hear this clearly. You were never too loving, you were never too understanding, you were never too much. You were loving the only way you knew how, okay? By giving more when you felt less secure, by trying harder when you felt a distance, by shrinking when you sensed withdrawal, and that wasn't weakness, that was survival. And somewhere along the way, you learned that love must be earned, that being chosen required proving, and that being kept requires overgiving. But healthy love doesn't need convincing. It doesn't require you to audition for a permanent role in someone's life. It doesn't make you anxious without being replaced. It doesn't reward you only when you tolerate disrespect. Real love meets you. It doesn't make you chase. And here the shifts that changes everything. Okay? So just choose self-respect and give yourself time. Okay? For any sort of therapeutic session, I'm available for you. Don't feel alone. If you guys want to share anything, I'm always available for you. You guys can let me know, we'll fix the session. And if you guys haven't subscribed my channel, please just go and subscribe it so you guys can get the latest updates. If you guys like the video, please like it, comment me below, and see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye everyone.